Time now for the Bear Chill 5 o'clock news on this Saturday evening, October 31st, 2015. Good evening, everybody. I'm Peter Wiggins here. 5 o'clock news as I've done this Saturday evening, Halloween evening here. Top story at 5 o'clock. Here is all 224 people aboard a Russian airliner were killed early Saturday when the Airbus A321 crashed in Egypt's Sinai Peninsula shortly after takeoff from a popular Red Sea resort town, officials said. The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has reversed controversial comments that he made about the Holocaust, saying he never meant to claim that Islamic leader persuaded Adolf Hitler to adopt the final solution to kill European Jews. Hundreds of costumed children, including one dressed as the Pope and driving a mini Pope-mobile, trick-or-treated at the White House on Friday. Louisiana Governor Bobby Jindal aimed his fire at Democrats and Republicans equally in a speech to the likely Iowa Republican caucus goers at the Growth and Opportunity Party on Saturday. In Houston, emergency officials have advised trick-or-treaters in the Houston area to beware of flooded streets after rains drenched down the city. Norfolk, Virginia. Donald Trump on Saturday knocked President Obama's decision to deploy fewer than 50 special operation forces on the ground in Syria, suggesting that strategy is a half measure. At least 27 people were killed and more than 180 injured Friday when a heavy metal band's pyrotechnical show sparked a fire that quickly engulfed a crowded base of a nightclub in Romania, officials said. A Bangladeshi publisher who worked with a slain writer and blogger, Avit Roy, has been murdered in the country's capital, Dhaka, after an attack by machete-wielding assailants left another one of the Roy's publishers in critical condition. Tens of thousands of Israelis, along with former U.S. President Bill Clinton, marked the 25th anniversary of the assassination of Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin on Saturday night, covered in the Tel Aviv square where he was gunned down by a Jewish extremist. His wife was 7 months pregnant with her second child when the group of people barged into his home and took her away. He followed them to the local hospital where, against medical advice and despite his pleadings, they jammed the needle. 4 people are dead, including a suspected gunman found in a shooting spree in downtown Colorado Springs. Lieutenant Catherine Buckley says officers were responding to reported shots being fired Saturday morning. They spotted a suspect matching the description. In Des Moines, with 10 Republican presidential candidates given reform on Saturday, 3 days after the raucous debate in Colorado, several took shots at the new common enemy that debate moderators are listening to loud applause from hundreds of. The USS Peralta is believed to be the first warship named for someone who was born in Mexico. Sergeant Rafael Peralta was killed in action in Iraq in 2004 as warship honorary Christian at the shipyard in Maine. Central banks were active in the last week of October. Some of the actions were unexpected, like the Reserve Bank of New Zealand that held rates unchanged when a cut was a strong possibility. Frankfurt, Greece's banks needed to raise more than 14 billion euros, 10 billion pounds of extra capital to cover mountain unpaid loans. The European Central Bank said on Saturday it announced the results of the stress test intended for rehabilitate Greece. Valiant Pharmaceuticals went to high find Wall Street Journal in recent weeks as the stock price almost halved. Pharmacists at the center of the scandal accused the drug maker of massive fraud. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission have approved new rules that allow crowdfunded backers to receive shares of the stock in the companies they are supporting. Researchers from the University of Wisconsin have created a new silicon for the transition, which they claim the fastest can also improve the performance of products which rely on electric light sensors. The humpback whale was on the brink of extinction in the mid-1960s with a population of about 5,000 as a formation of the International Whaling Commission and terrestrial hunting laws that have allowed population numbers to rise significantly. The September image of Pluto's crescent beamed the Earth's pales in comparison in the brilliant photo that showed up this week. Bats tend to swarm in the northeast during the autumn season and they're hungry for a good meal before hibernation. Fast food consumption driven by ads for kids' meals as a new study suggests that child-oriented TV ads for fast food chains played a big role in the increased consumption of their food products, especially ads featuring free toy. San Francisco aims to curb HIV/AIDS by the city by adding up to $1.7 million in its funds, as the city has shown progress over the past years, but they would want to increase the rates more. Portland, Oregon, 22 cases of E. coli infection have been traced to Chipotle restaurants in Oregon and Washington, which closed abruptly in Friday. Health authorities said on Saturday. Okay, take a look at New England Insulars here in Medford, Massachusetts at Roosevelt Circle. Jumper Ups Unit Station S. Lowell, Massachusetts, Oliver versus pedestrian, 47, Farmer, Moorside Boulevard, inside of Ant's garage on 3rd deck as companies responded to the telephone alarm of a struck pedestrian unknown injury at the time, and letter 3 remained on the scene as no apparent injury, all other companies returned. Peter Channel News Times, now 5:05, time out for a sports report here, the Boston Bruins will be down in Tampa for a date with the Tampa Bay Lightning at 7 o'clock. Here, NHL scores. New Jersey Devils defeat the New York Islanders 3-2. San Jose Sharks and the Dallas Stars 3-3 to score for 2 periods and 1 period. Los Angeles Kings and the Nashville Predators no score for 1 period here. Alright, looking at college football scores here on this Saturday evening here. UCLA leading Colorado 21-6 with 12:30 left in the 3rd period here. 4:44 left in the 2nd period here. It's Florida 13, Georgia 0. 1:12 left in the 2nd period. It's North Carolina State 20, Clemson 19 with 1:12 left in the 2nd period here. Oklahoma Sooners leading the Kansas Jayhawks 31-7 with 2:34 left in the 2nd period here. Texas Tech leading Oklahoma State 31-20 with 3:37 left in the 2nd period here. At halftime, it is Iowa leading Maryland 21-0 here. Florida State over Syracuse 45-21. Ole Miss defeating Auburn 27-19 here. Okay, let us take a look at some sports news here. In New York, one day after the pitch that definitely emerged that Kansas City Royals and possibly changed the complexion of the World Series, New York Mets manager Terry comes off the defense of North Syndergaard's up delivery as the Mets and the Royals square off in Game 4 of the World Series tonight down in Citi Field in New York here. As the Royals have a 2-1 lead in this best-of-7 series. There were reportedly two security-related investigations involving the Patriots in a win last Saturday over the Jets last Sunday at Gillette Stadium. Baseball Switzerland, Roger Federer advanced to the Swiss indoors final on Saturday to celebrate his first title match against Rafael Nadal since May 2013. The Ohio State Buckeyes returned by a week on November 7th against Minnesota. Peter Channel News Time, 5:07, time out for a travel report here on this Saturday evening. In Rhode Island, it is looking good, except for Route 139 on the westbound side. A little slower on the Jamestown stretch here. And it is looking good on the South Shore highways. It's 95-24, looking good from 120 to the 120 to the Rhode Island border here. Route 3 looking good from Braintree to Sandwich here. As Route 6 is looking good from Sagamore all the way to Orleans. 29 on the northbound and southbound side is looking good from Bourne to Falmouth Fair. Mass parking on the eastbound side a little slow before Route 120 in the western here. 120 on the northbound side slow around Route 90 mass parking in the western due to an accident here. On 120 on the northbound side before Route 20 Waltham here. And otherwise, a smooth sailing commute and 95 on the northbound side, a little slow around the Hampton Tolls here. And 295 on the southbound side, we have an accident here in Cumberland here. So expect some delays here around 295 in the Yarmouth Cumberland stretch here. And the main trip back a little slow after the Great Interchange here. Alright, let's take a look at what is going on in the traffic situation here. Okay, let's take a look at the MBTA here. So on SL5 and SL4 expansion, minor delays due to traffic here. Commuter rail. Dewey Park Walkway line. All trains experiencing 10 to 15 minute delays due to happenings in Salem, Mass. As we take a look at what is going on in Salem here, so expect some delays around the Salem, Massachusetts area due to the haunted happenings in Salem, Mass. As expect delays on Bridge Street, Essex Street, 114, Winter Street, and Derby Street here. So, if you're going to the haunted happenings in Salem, just don't use your car and take public transportation. Peter Channel News Time, 5:09, time to have a weather report on this spooky Halloween Saturday night here. Tonight, it's going to call for mostly clouds, about 41 degrees. Southward about 5 miles per hour in the common evening here, as if you're going trick-or-treating with your little ones here. It'll be 5 p.m. It'll be 53 degrees with part cloud skies. 47 degrees at 7 p.m. with cloud skies. At 9 p.m., 44 degrees with cloud skies. So if you're going trick-or-treating, make sure you got a jacket over your little ones' costumes here, because be a little chilly, but a perfect trick-or-treating night here. And before you go to bed tonight, switch your clocks back 1 hour because daylight savings time is ended at 2 a.m. on Sunday. For Sunday, most skies got have at 62 degrees. Calm wind becoming southwest around 5 to 9 miles per hour in the morning. Winds could gust high as 26 miles an hour. Here, Sunday night, Podcast got about 47 degrees and west about 3 to 6 miles an hour. Monday, most of the skies have at 61 degrees. Calm wind. Monday night, Tree fog up to 2 a.m. Otherwise, Podcast got about 42 degrees. Calm wind. Tuesday, patch fog before 8 a.m. Otherwise, sun skies have at 64 degrees. Tuesday, most of the skies Tuesday, most of the skies about 44 degrees. Wednesday, Sunday, most of the skies have at 65 to about 46 degrees. Thursday, patch fog between 7 a.m. and 8 a.m. Otherwise, sun skies about 73. Thursday, patch fog otherwise, Podcast got about 51 degrees. For Friday, part sun skies about 70 degrees. Friday night, most skies got about 49 degrees. And for Saturday, part sun skies are about 61 degrees. Currently in Norton, 53 degrees with fair skies, humidity 43%. That is going to be it for the Peter Channel Evening News on this 5 o'clock news on this Saturday evening, October 31st, 2015. Peter, have a good evening with a good Halloween positive attitude and have a happy and safe Halloween night trick-or-treating. And I'll see you at 11 o'clock for a late night report. Have a good evening.